You are listening to the Keeping It Juicy podcast,
your main squeeze in nutrition.
Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon on YouTube so you can get notified every Tuesday when we upload a new episode.
You can also add us on Facebook and Instagram at Keeping It Juicy Podcast.
So we are live, everybody. Welcome to episode 52. We have a very special guest with us today. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Roberto Couto. I am from Turlock, California, like literally the center of California, and I'm a dietetic intern and / graduate student from Auburn University. So I'm very excited for this episode.
Awesome. Yeah, our goal for this episode is really just to, share other perspectives about the dietetics field and give some tips and pointers about what to do if you're trying to go to this route as well. And we're definitely going to try to be doing more of these, interview type style podcasts in the future. So if you are interested, please let us know.
Yes.
We're looking for all diverse backgrounds and everything.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely. So we'll just kind of, dive into it. So what actually got you into nutrition?
Well, I feel like this might be a very boring story, but when I was younger, I did a lot of labor with my grandfather's garden, and my grandfather's Portuguese. So we do a lot of kale, a lot of potatoes, sweet potatoes. And what we do with those vegetables, we actually make it into a soup. So a lot of Portuguese cuisine is a lot of soups. So a lot of importance of, hey, my grandfather was like, hey, here you go. This is right here is a kale. This is what's going to help you be healthier. And from that experience, developed into a love for helping other people find the importance of gardening and fruits and vegetables, and kind of developed as well too.
Wow.
Yeah, it's my grandfather was a little bit older, and he's actually started to pass away, and he had a registered dietitian who was part of hospice, and I was part of that process and fell in love with it because he felt happy, and I thought I could do something great for someone else as well too, to make them happy.
Right.
So more of hope.
Right.
I put.
And that's not a story that we hear about every day, about a dietitian taking part in that. And that's not a boring story at all.
No.
So
you have to be very empathetic, and you have to keep your emotions close to yourself. So you can't be showing it to other people.
Right.
That's the hardest thing for that kind of job as well too.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's, very unique as well, because a lot of people don't know where their food comes from. Having that background and knowing where your food comes from, and actually how much work goes into farming and taking care of crops, it makes you value food for what it is so much more. That's very cool.
That is why farmers are such an important role in this process here. And people don't put credit into them, but I always talk about it when I do a presentation. It's the farmers are a very important job. Continue to support them as well too.
Yeah. So is there one thing specifically that you wish people knew more about when it came to farming, or what's your biggest piece of general advice for, the general public?
To very honestly, be patient when it comes to growing your own garden, because there's always going to be trial and error. You have to plant something, kind of give it some care and some love. And if it doesn't grow, don't be mad about it. Continue to develop. And that's why gardening and fruits and vegetables is like a student. It's always, you're always developing, and you have to be very patient as well too. That's why I'm kind of learning and developing my niche on my dietetic internship. What kind of field do I love? And I'm developing that kind of field for me as well. So I'm excited though.
Okay.
Still halfway done.
There you go.
Yeah.
One day at a time.
Right. So more importantly, if you did not choose nutrition, what other field would you have gone into, do you think? Or something else?
I wanted to be a pharmacist. I wanted to do something in the medical field. I wanted to talk to people about medications, but I kind of fell off of it when I took my first nutrition class in junior college, and
Right.
kind of never went back after that because I fell in love with it, and
Yeah.
why not do that? Because my grandfather passed away my freshman year of college, so that was something that why not just do that? This is
Yeah.
something I fall in love with as well.
Right. I mean, I come from a family of pharmacists, and trust me, you're not missing anything.
They wanted you to be a pharmacist too, right?
Oh yeah, they did. Don't do it, kids.
It can be hard. I'm pretty sure it can be very hard to go through the school because like for California, there's a University of Pacific and it had 10% acceptance rate, and everyone completely gets off from that number, and they decide not to do that. It's like one of the reasons why I didn't want to do that. It just I didn't want to compete with other people as well too.
Right, right. And nutrition is, sort of competitive as well. So we'll kind of dive into your experience being a dietetic intern and grad student. So what is the program like? What's your biggest takeaway?
So my program is a distance learning program, and it's part of a master's program as well too. So what I had to do was I had to take classes before I went to my internship. I took 9 classes, and that persisted of 1.5 years. And I had rotations last year, and my biggest responsibility was I had to develop a plan to get all my rotations, meet the requirements, and be able to meet all of the requirements for clinicals, renal, community outreach, adolescents and teen health. I had to do WIC as well for my outpatient, and I had to make sure I met those requirements while planning each one separately and be able to fit that in kind of like a little puzzle while taking classes as well too. So my second year was the hardest out of my internship because I had to plan and get a thesis going and develop a program for my internship rotations. So that was the hardest thing for me as well. So
Sounds like a lot of work.
yeah, I had to be very patient because I had to talk to each one of them in July and start by next year, the year after that. So I had to plan things out. I had to be very patient. Sometimes they didn't follow up with me until February, and that was like the deadline was March. So I had to be very patient and try not to go crazy and email
It's
them
a very
constantly.
stressful time. Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's everybody trying to get into a dietetic internship kind of loses their mind
Honestly,
for a little bit.
Yeah, I
you
completely agree.
Yeah.
you remember me, Christine?
Yep, I
Like I
do.
was losing my mind. Like I don't think I was alive most of the time.
Yeah.
So I feel you on that.
Yeah.
Uh, so with that being said, what are your biggest tips in like trying to get into a program in the first place?
I think you have to just be honest with yourself. You have to see where you are a perfect fit for the program. For me, I actually went into I went into diecast 3 times. I went into it. I went to 3 rounds. I never got into the first two, which was the February one and the one in November, I think, or something like that. It was I went to 3 rounds, and that third time, which was the 2 years of trying, I got into Auburn University because I had some experience with work experience. So if you're honest with yourself, trying to see if you can develop yourself a little bit more after not getting in. If you do get in, make sure that you go to the programs that are a perfect fit for you. Each dietetic internship program has a focus, and sometimes they focus on community. If you want to do community, be honest with yourself and go with that one, and try not to go for the ones that are really not popular, but not too. No, don't settle for less.
Mhm.
That's why I always try to say is try to be honest with yourself and
Mhm.
try to see if you can be
Hmm.
able to you know get 3 or 4 and then kind of I shouldn't be going to here, or I shouldn't go here, I should go here, and
Right.
just kind of pinpoint it.
So I feel like there's a stigma with diecast is like in which you apply once. If you don't get in, then don't ever try again. You're basically shit out of luck. So, but people don't really realize that they can keep reapplying, or they run out of the financial resources to do so, or whatever the reason, or people always forget about the second round too. I
I
mean, that's
know.
how got into a program.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
feel like people forget these things and they're not really taught in our undergrads either. I know from my undergrad, they weren't really taught. What were they
Not at
taught
all.
in yours?
In mine, they weren't really. It wasn't a lot of emphasis about that because a lot of my friends were very competitive. A lot of the classmates were competitive, and some people sometimes feel ashamed about applying for first time, and then they don't get in, and then some
Yeah.
people just fall off the wagon.
It becomes your
So
life. I mean,
yeah,
it's literally all you do for months on end. And if you don't get it the first time,
Right,
unfortunately, a lot of people do give up. And I'm happy that you shared your story about, reapplying because
right,
your time will come. But like you said, just be honest with yourself, apply to the ones that will be a good fit, and you'll, be on the right track.
right. And that, like, what you said about competitiveness, I saw that with my graduating class as well, which like blows my mind that we're in a field trying to help people, but we're still like darting
Competing.
stares at each other. Like I don't understand
yeah,
that whole environment or that atmosphere around that because I get we're all stressed, but hi.
yeah. We're all on the same bus together. We should be able to help each other out, not feel so competitive against. Like if you get into Fresno State, which Fresno State has a really good program for us, and that was my second choice, and people are
Mhm.
really competitive about it. I don't know, it's just
Yeah.
the culture that the teachers and the professors they put into us, and it's like in the medical field. You want to be the best one out there, and
Mhm.
I guess any field like that, you want to be the best out there, and you don't want to fail. And if you fail, people are going to have that room to talk like, oh, you're not that really good, you're not going to be a good registered dietitian. So
Right.
I heard that many times in my undergrad, and I felt that, what, it's completely fine. I'm not really good at what I'm doing, but I'm going to get better. And those are the kind of things you hear from other students to kind of make them feel better about themselves. So
Right.
And that's all you can do is just to do better moving forward. You're absolutely right.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, with all that being said, a lot of our listeners are currently going to be in an internship or currently in their internship. So, do you have any tips on how to be the most successful in your internship?
I have a planner with me at all times. So
There you
I
go.
let me let me be very frank. You gotta plan things out.
Oh
Okay?
my
For
gosh.
Well,
me,
you're already 10 steps ahead of me. I did not have a planner.
oh my, oh shoot, then you know what? Edit that out. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my
No,
god.
but for
I had
me,
a planner. I still have a planner.
but for me, I think that it's really important to have a planner that gives you everything you need. For me, I like to plan things out month, like not like the weekly ones, but like the monthly ones, so I can look at it and see what I need to do for the month, and then
Mhm.
you go to the next pages and kind of jot down some stuff that you need to do, and just be ahead of the game. I think what you'll need to do is get a planner or get something that's gonna help you with getting organized. You can get like an Amazon dot whatever, and you can have things on your phone to read the things that you need to do for the day. Just something that
Just
helps
stay
you
on
with,
top of it.
yeah, just stay on top of it.
Mhm.
And the next thing is just be informed about the things you need to learn in during your rotations as well. I
Mhm.
think when I was going through my renal rotations, they gave me a whole big packet of things to learn about
Yep. That sounds
calcium,
familiar.
yeah, the bone management. That was a really hard thing for me because even though I had some experience in Alabama
Mhm.
and getting my some of my clinicals over there, I
Mhm.
still wasn't really prepared for my renal rotations.
Mhm.
So
I
I
feel
think that, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I feel like in the internship, like you don't really understand. Like you can like read and study the information, but you'll never fully understand that information that was presented to you until you're actually in that environment.
Yes, very, 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 very true. Because I use my fiance all the time about doing assessments, and
Mhm.
I had apologized to her about it, but I think it's really important to get your hands wet with getting assessments and be able to do a nutrition focused physical examination on someone, and that's really, really important.
Mhm.
You learn things in school, but you want to be able to practice that, and that's something you have a friend. The second thing is have a friend be able to test something on, or
Comfortable.
quiz you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
getting comfortable being able to ask some of those potentially awkward or not invasive, but you know what I mean, those types of questions where it
A
just
little invasive.
flow off the tongue.
just a little bit.
Sometimes. There's definitely a learning curve when it comes to just being comfortable saying those types of things.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I
you know
mean,
what? Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say after a while it definitely gets easier. I
Yeah.
mean, when I started doing the dialysis assessments, I was like, okay, let me read word for word
Yeah.
everything that's on the sheet. But now I'm at the point at which I was like, okay, what? Like, let's get it rolling.
Yeah.
So it's really
The
easy.
the biggest thing is when you are talking to a resident, and this is a fail for me as well. When you talk to a resident and you see that, oh, they, they gained 25 pounds, and you want to talk about it and address them, and sometimes they don't know that they gained 25 pounds, and then they get really, really worried, and you know, then you kind of feel like, okay, how can I get out of this situation right now? How can I get away? Like, you can't just say, okay, bye. You have to, learn from those mistakes, and you have to practice on how to approach a concern that the facility may have for the residents. So if they gain a lot of weight, you want to be able to practice what to say before you actually go to a resident's room. That's one thing as well too in a rotation for me.
Yeah, I think it's important for everyone, dietetic students, dietetic interns to know like there are going to be very tough conversations and you're going to have them and you're going to feel weird about it, but you just have to like put your happy face on and
Fake it till you make it.
yeah,
That's what I
pretty
say.
much. Pretty
Everyone in Fresno State would say fail fast, because
much.
you're gonna fail, and then you just might as well just fail right now, and then you'll
Get it
learn
out of the
from
way.
those.
Yeah, very true. Do any other fail moments come to mind in your internship at all?
Yes, there's one I had just 2 weeks ago, and there was a resident that was on dialysis, and she had a huge kidney injury, and she ended up having edema on her ankles and around her stomach, and she was on diuretics. And for me, I think about, okay, look at the GFR. Okay, if the GFR is less than a certain value, you have to assume that the person might have kidney disease or chronic kidney disease stage, 4 or 5. So my biggest mistake was I went into the resident's room, and I had that value in my head, and I asked her, "Are you having any problems with your kidneys? I see that your GFR is at this level. Have you been diagnosed with chronic kidney disease stage 5?" And she's like, uh, "No." And I was like, "Oh my gosh."
No,
Thank you so much for your time. I gotta go right now. Yeah.
never presume things. Like even
Yes.
the thing about the
Fail fast.
Yeah. Just go in the fire. Just fail fast right now. I was looking at her diagnosis, and I didn't see it. So I was like, okay, well, I went in the room. She had acute kidney injury. So my intern mentality is, okay, well, you want to address, some concerns that she may have, and I learned from it. That was in the beginning of my rotations for clinicals, so my second rotation in clinicals. So I learned from it, and it was fail fast moment for me.
You know what actually cracks me up? Patients, even if they are told they've been diagnosed with something, that so I don't know what happens in their lifetime. I don't know if they forget or if they just somehow block it out. They still act like they don't have the diagnosis because you're not alone in this one. Because, say for example, the other week I was doing an assessment on a patient, and one of the diagnosis codes, not just one, there's like different variations of diabetes on there. And then the very first questions I have is, how often do you check your blood sugar? And she's like, no, not, I don't check it at all. I was like, okay, are you doing anything in regards to your diet? No, nothing at all. I was like, are you taking any diabetes related medications? No, not at all. I'm not diabetic. I was like, oh, okay, I'll just chart that and I'll be on my way.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
not alone on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are funny sometimes.
Especially when there's someone who's obese that they don't know that they're gaining weight.
Mhm.
They're very oblivious about it. And I was doing this on my page, on my business page, that
Mhm.
what you can learn from an obese patient,
Mhm.
that it's more than just food. A lot of them are connected with
100%.
just how it feels for them, and they
Mhm.
love the feeling. They
Mhm. Mhm.
overindulge a lot.
Mhm.
So it's
Yep.
a learning experience for sure.
Yeah. The, weight loss category is a very, kind of special category of nutrition and weight management. It's a lot more than just nutrients to, this population of people. So, this is a good opportunity to kind of jump more into your business. So, do you mind telling us more about that?
Yeah, most definitely. I business is RC Nutrition Consulting.
Mhm.
This is actually a very small business, just run by myself. I try my best to post things on my business page about just how to help with weight loss, or how to address food concerns that you may have about losing weight, water. And I do a lot of videos, and I made this small little business because I thought I'm really tired of people trying to trick people on buying their products, buying supplements, and I was really mad. So I didn't want to be one of those nutrition professionals that just complained about people
That's why
falling
you
victim.
create memes.
Yeah. Actually, that is funny because that was the first thing that came in mind when it just making fun of someone. You make a meme and you kind of make it over exaggerated,
Of
and it's
course.
the best thing. People are triggered by it. They're like, "You making fun of me? How dare you?"
That's all you can do. At least that's what I can do.
It's how she fights back.
Yeah.
Fight the system.
Oh my gosh.
So one of my things is that I just try to make videos to help people with getting their mentality straightforward, and this is not going to help you. And of course, you'll hear people that are weight loss consultants, or there's someone who's an RD that is focusing on obesity, that calories in, calories out, and it's more than that. And there's more of an approach that I try to do is, how do you like intuitive eating, because a lot of my clients are people that suffer with, how do I feel right now, and let's sit down together.
Mhm.
What do you feel right now? How hungry are you? And kind of have them pay attention to how they're feeling. And of course, if they ever have any information they want to tell me, forward me the link. Let me read it, and let me give you some advice on it.
Mhm.
And of course, people are going to talk about the Netflix documentaries about nutrition, and that is the number one thing that everyone talks about with me. Oh,
Crazy.
this person said, this doctor said I should be a vegan. How do you feel about that? If that fits your lifestyle and you want to do that, then
Mhm.
go right ahead.
Way to dodge that bullet.
Yeah, they always. Oh, I have to be a professional about it because I don't want people to go on my business account and then put 1 star out of 5 because he hated the
Right.
Netflix special.
Right. Right. 100%.
So,
so that was the one that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna ask, is your patient population, out of curiosity, do you find it's more male heavy or female heavy? I mean, considering you're gonna be a male dietitian, which is like a rare
Rare as
object,
it is, yeah.
right? Like a rare species in the
Yeah.
dietetics world.
A male unicorn, like Andy the RD says to me.
Pretty
A
much.
male unicorn, yeah.
Mhm.
So my client population is women, and they're usually middle-aged
Mhm.
women that talk about, hey, I want to lose a little bit of weight around my area. I'm 40 years old, and I want to have you help me out. I want you to go to my house, and I want you to assess my kitchen or assess the way I shop, and that's something that I help them out as well too.
Do
I
you
see
actually
you have
go
a
to the
question.
houses?
Yes, I do.
Oh
No,
my God, I want to do that so
Yeah.
badly.
yeah. No, I
So
wish more people who did that because that's a service that a lot of people need.
I've
yeah,
been trying to do that for my dialysis patients, but they keep
there you go.
denying me.
You know what? It's hard. Dialysis patients, I when I was in my renal rotation, a lot of them are just go ahead, okay, and then they kind of feel sad about it, and you want to help them out, but a lot of them are very. It's That's something for me. I don't think I would be a renal dietitian. It takes a special person because I want to be like over like
Why, thank you. I appreciate
it,
the
it takes
compliment.
a special person to do that because I want to be able to like, hey, let me take you to your house, let me help you shop, let me do this, and that's one of the weaknesses I'm working on is being grounded. Just stay grounded and just be
Right.
professional about that as well.
So do you go and meet them at grocery stores, or how does that like shopping thing happen?
Would you
So they
carpool?
would No, I don't carpool with them. I will meet them at. No, actually, I pick them up from their house and I take them to the grocery store. No, but
Nice.
no. Really, honestly, we meet them at the grocery store. The first thing that I would do is we'll meet them at the grocery store, and they have a list. It's required for you to have a list of things that you want to work on, and I want to buy more fruits and vegetables. And then some people, they would have a list and they would walk with me to the grocery store door, and we'll pick up a flyer. Sometimes all things have on sale, and then we just walk. And sometimes we'll address some things on the way. And of course, the first thing in mind is cookies. When you enter a freaking grocery store and they want you to buy it because it's $1.99 for 10 cookies. Oh my gosh, it's a bargain. And then they'll have sales, and you just have to be very smart about it. So just building strategies and help them be on top of their stuff. That's something what I do on on a monthly basis. I
Mhm.
probably would have one or two grocery store tours with
Mhm.
with
That's cool.
individuals. And I did when I first started doing this business. I did do ones with groups, but
Yeah. No
it
good?
just nah, no good. A lot of them just had different questions. They're like, "Oh, I did this.
It can be chaotic.
Yeah." Like a lot of them would be like, "Oh, well, I shop for this. Oh, I shop organic. Oh, I did this."
Girl, they got some Cheetos back here.
Yeah. And then
Oh
someone like, "Oh, yeah, I had Takis. He said everything in moderation, right?" And then they'll open the bag and they'll shop while they're eating, and so it kind of got chaotic. And I thought it would be very important just to focus on one thing at a time.
yeah, one-on-one could be a little bit more manageable, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah. So that
So
was the biggest thing from that. I
no,
stopped.
that's cool though.
Yeah. No, that sounds, I really like that idea, and I wish that was done more often, not just, I mean, with everybody in
Mhm.
general. So that's a
Mhm,
really good idea.
mhm.
When did you actually start your business? Let me ask that.
I started in 2017, right after I got out of Fresno State.
Nice.
And of course, when you are a student, you want to be passionate about it, and you want to tell people, okay, look, you can't follow these people because they are selling you products, and why not just do that on a social media basis? And just made one in 2017 and
Mhm.
continue growing from there. And it slowly grows. A
Mhm.
lot of people don't like what I like to say, but
Mhm.
I'm me just
What
be
are you
honest.
saying?
I say, moderation is key, and drink your water, and
How
don't.
dare you?
Yeah, how dare me? How dare you have a mentality? Carbs are your friends, and people don't like hearing carbs. And they just like,
Right.
oh, they just get mad,
Don't
and
let
they
me
just
slow
like,
it down.
yeah, they just don't want to hear that. They hear that doctors are saying that no carbs and no fats, and then
Mhm.
you can only eat protein, and they
Mhm.
don't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear balance. Exactly.
Yeah, and you'll hear people that say, okay, well, my friend lost 45 pounds in one day. Why can I not do that? You hear people say that all the time to me about that, and they want to get my opinion.
Mhm.
Oh my
A lot of the
gosh.
same questions over and over, I feel,
Yeah.
because I get a lot of those with weight loss counseling
You
as
should
well.
send it. Should send more of those stories my way. Yeah, if
Yeah,
you know
I
what I'm
could.
saying.
I definitely could, but my biggest struggle is I try to stay just to myself sometimes
Mhm.
because I want to enjoy my family, and that's the biggest struggles I have with my business is that I want to enjoy my schoolwork, and I don't want people to kind of think that I'm just trying to put myself out there just for show or anything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's a hard struggle for me because I want to be with my family. I want to enjoy the moments, but not be locked in a room making a video. And sometimes it takes a lot up from me because I wake up, go to my rotations, get back home, eat, and then this is my free time to do research or
Mhm,
cook some stuff and
mhm.
or just be with my family. So it's a hard thing for me as well.
Yeah, running a business is, no walk in the park. It has
Yeah.
its own area of struggles as well.
Let
Hmm.
alone going through an internship, which
Yeah,
is hard
Yes.
enough.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's like a full-time job as it is.
Yeah. I
It
know.
definitely is.
It's tough, and
Mhm, mhm,
people underestimate it. And sometimes people want to get jobs, and my biggest advice for someone is that if they want to get a job, prepare to not sleep. And if you're struggling with money, it's okay to ask for a loan, and
mhm,
that you're gonna get a job after the internship, and people want registered dietitians.
mhm.
So be very persistent about it and understand that you have to sacrifice a lot. And for this business, I had to sacrifice my business for my family and to enjoy being a student.
Mhm.
So that's I often say sorry all the time to my followers, but it's really important to keep myself sane and
Yeah,
focused
just
on
like we
myself.
tell all of our clients,
Yeah,
balance is key. So
yeah.
do you have any tips for, other nutrition professionals out there wanting to start their own business? Like, where do you start?
So my biggest mistake that I did was I was very broad, and the biggest thing now is that I'm closing it down to older
Found
adults.
your niche,
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. So find your niche, or I don't know how to pronounce that.
close enough.
I
I
say
don't
I
even
say niche or I say niche.
I
Yeah,
say niche.
yeah. So for me, you have to focus on who you want to
Mhm,
address.
mhm,
So I have a certificate in gynecological specialist certificate. So I think that it's really important to focus on that and try not talk to older adults because they're very vulnerable and they have a lot of polypharmacy issues, and I wanted to focus on that. So my biggest tip is that you focus on one topic, and sometimes if someone wants to address another topic, you can talk about it, but
mhm,
focus on one thing at a time.
mhm.
And that was my biggest mistake I made in my beginning of my career.
This is a full circle moment because you kind of said a similar thing when applying to internships.
Mm.
Find the one that works for you. And it's the
Yeah,
same thing with clients. You
yeah,
are not going to be a good fit for every type of client. You
yes,
will get
Hell no.
you'll get
yeah,
miserable really fast if
yeah,
you think you're going to help
yeah,
everybody. You have
yeah.
to find that right match, whether it's your internship, your ideal client, your job, so be it. But
Yeah.
don't go thinking you're gonna please everybody.
Everyone, yeah. I think the biggest thing is just know your limits and have a planner in mind and plan things out and have a calendar of what you want to talk about and address with your population and make a video on those topics on what your clients want to hear.
Mhm,
So that was my biggest thing is I got a lot of feedback from people that want to hear about the importance of water, the
Mhm.
ketogenic diet, and
Mhm.
I kind of like spread myself really thin, and I really didn't focus on one topic. And I think what you'll have to do is you make a calendar, you get a calendar, and you write things on what you want to talk about, and then have your clients or your followers suggest things that are in that realm. So just have a planner, and then the first one is just literally to know your just figure out one thing, one subject at a time too
Mm.
as well.
Yeah, good advice. Thank you. We'll move on to the next one. So, are you using any of the information that you learned in your internship in your business?
Yes, I am. So there's the things about the science about water, or for my grad school, I learned about all the vitamins and minerals. I learned about advanced nutrition, more specifically on just what receptors attract different vitamins. So I kind of learned the science behind vitamins and minerals, and
Mhm.
I talked about that on one of my things, and
Mhm.
use my knowledge to help people feel really comfortable with me, and
Mhm.
believe what I'm saying. So
Mhm.
it's pretty much what that is I learned a lot of stuff in school, and I was able to explain it really well, and people were like, wow, you know a lot of stuff. So make them feel comfortable. That's something I do is water and
Mhm.
vitamins and minerals, and I get a little bit more
Mhm.
specific on just what happens during when you consume food, and what
Mhm.
happens, what areas, and I
Mhm.
do a lot of education on that,
Mhm.
but in person though. My biggest thing is I don't do a lot of uh, posts on that, because people are like, this is this is too long. This is like way too long, and some people feel it should be a video, and that's why I do
Right.
a lot of videos. So
Right.
I do I do okay. Whatever I talk about in school, I try to do a video on it as well.
Oh,
So that's
nice.
my
Yeah.
biggest thing I try to do.
Cool. So, is there anything that school didn't teach you that you wish you knew before you started your business and counseling and whatnot?
Um, my biggest thing
Hell
is a
yes.
script. I don't know, like to literally be comfortable with talking to residents, because I know a lot of stuff, but I'm not able to even individualize what I need to say, what's in my mind to the certain person. No one teaches you real world stuff. I think that's the biggest thing that I never really got from my school, from my business. That how do I dress? How do I make myself popular? How do I even be comfortable around people that want to
Mhm.
hear what they want to hear? And
Mhm.
if they don't want to hear it, they close out, and they close their ears, and they only want to hear certain things. And I never school never taught me anything like that, especially in
Mhm.
my rotations or in my business as well too. That never even was addressed in school. I wish they had a class for doing assessments in
Right.
my grad school. So
Did they not have motivational interview?
they okay in Fresno State we had a lab, but I
Okay.
felt that it was only particular people that you would address. Like clinical stuff, it's older adults, there's middle aged
Right.
people, and in my school we had a lab that was really each other, us, and we
Right.
really were, healthy adults. Well, especially in the end of the semester, we're all malnutrition related to poor oral eating, as evidenced by
Mm.
like losing a lot of weight, poor sleep, and we make those jokes all the time about that as well too in
Mhm.
school. But
Mhm.
Right.
it was just us, and we never really got like a real world older adults.
Like an
Just
actual potential client
yes,
or patient. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
we never really got that. It was all just us. It was just us
Mhm.
students, really.
And then they throw you in there
Yeah,
and you
throw
gotta,
me.
Sink or swim. That's
Yes,
all.
or fail fast, just like exactly what happened with the renal patient.
yeah, I mean, gotta
Yeah,
figure it out at some point or another.
yeah, it's a rough world.
How many let me ask real quick. How many students are in your internship class? I know you're remote, but
Took a picture. I think it was like 12 of us, I think, or 10.
s-
So
so but do you guys actually talk to each other and interact?
we do. Well, we do. We do have Zoom meetings. We do have Zoom
Oh,
meetings
okay.
every first Monday, and and we'll just talk and just
Mhm.
address things that, hey, how are you guys doing? And I made a Facebook group on my business page to network with them and to
Nice.
talk to them about any concerns. So we do talk, and
Mhm.
there isn't anyone close to me besides Arizona. So we're
Okay.
all we're all far away.
Yeah.
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 I'm gonna be honest. I wish I got into a program that was in person.
Okay.
I think I would have got a lot more from it. And there's
Uh-huh.
no problem with doing distance, but you just have
Mhm.
to. For me, I want to wake up in the morning and drive to the building and talk to the professors and sit down and be able to physically do something like that. And sometimes I'm behind a computer
Oh,
and I'm
same.
typing different stuff. And whenever I have a really amazing advisor, and he was really available and gave me his number, and I call him whenever I can about research and
Mhm.
classes. And
Mhm.
I'm very fortunate about that. But I just wish it was in person. I think I would have got a little more from it as well.
Right.
So wait, so yours is at Auburn.
Yeah.
Then you talked about being in Alabama?
Yeah, I did. I was there for 3 months in Alabama for rotations for WIC, for Public Health Department of Alabama. Was there for a certain 2 weeks of clinical over there, and I also was in a food bank. So I did mostly in my community rotations over there. And
Now you understand the South,
yes,
basically.
I do. I do a little bit, a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
People love
Um,
okra. I was very fortunate to be part of a little okra festival that they have, like okra ice
hey,
cream, okra fried okra.
it's a thing.
It's a big thing, especially football as well too. Football is huge over there. I cannot emphasize how crazy it is about football.
I mean, I think anything compared to California is very
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
Yeah. Very different. Mhm.
So California mostly fires, gasoline, and then beaches, and
Palm
if you want to
trees.
go for a hike, yeah, palm trees as well too. Over in Alabama, it's football, football, and then maybe some fried food, and then occasionally.
Not maybe, definitely some fried food. Don't even.
Because it was crazy because in the public health department they would bicker because someone's from Alabama and then another person's from LSU and then some person is from Auburn. So it's crazy. It's a really cool experience I got, and I was very fortunate about it. And I met all of my classmates for 1 week, and we all talked and we all hang out, and we did that for an orientation. And I'm very blessed with all of my classmates because they're all really nice people and they're very smart. That's the cool thing, is that I feel really comfortable because it makes me feel motivated to be on top of my stuff rather than certain classmates that are not really just going by, and they just want to get the degree and they just want to just graduate. And there's people like that really don't motivate me at all. So I get a lot of energy from other people. So I'm a I'm a was it extrovert, I think. Extrovert. I get a lot of energy from
Uh-huh.
other people.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you are who you hang around with, so
Right,
that'll make
exactly.
them good people.
Yeah.
right. So actually, to piggyback off of that,
Go ahead.
which rotations actually stuck out to you so far?
Stuck out to me so far. Had to be my rotation now with an organization in California. I'm actually going to be on Monday start my rotation with them again because it's two different rotations, two different preceptors. So I'm really looking forward to it because I love doing something that I'm really not really familiar with. I did mostly a lot of my community emphasis, and I'm going for a community emphasis from a master's program and not clinical. So I love something I'm not really familiar with, and that's clinical stuff. And food systems and management was really interesting as well too. I was in meetings. I was part of the hiring process for cooks and aides, and I did a lot of the ordering of foods and be able to do invoices and to do they do in services. And so I did two of those about hand washing and control temperature control. So it was really interesting. I love doing that. I'm not really comfortable with public speaking, so those are two things. But the one thing that stuck at the most was my WIC rotation as a
Why?
male. as a
Oh,
male future registered dietitian.
Oh my gosh.
It is the hardest thing for me to go through that because
yeah.
I'm really empathetic. I want them to feel comfortable, and some people don't feel comfortable with me being in a room and talking about nutrition and about breastfeeding and latching. So
Yeah.
it is a very unfortunate thing for me, and I did grow from that experience to help people with latching and breastfeeding. But it was a very uncomfortable thing for me to see them feeling uncomfortable because they don't want me to be there. So there's plenty of times where, hey, can your intern just step outside? Okay, that's fine. I'll leave and give you guys privacy, and then whenever you want me come back, just let me know.
And it's one of those, completely understandable things, but it's also just one of those things that there's a lot of uncomfortable situations in this field, and you've got to be okay with them.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Definitely uncomfortable.
Yeah,
you have to be mature for sure as a person, okay, so I don't want to say like as a male, but as a person who happens to be male and wants to be a registered dietitian, you have to be very mature about those issues because people are going to talk about like bariatric surgery, and they have a lot of loose skin and they're embarrassed by that, and you don't want to be like making fun of them, or you don't want to laugh, or you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. So you have to be very mature about it.
Yeah, it's definitely a battle of its own, I'm sure, being a male in this field because it is primarily female dominated. So it's always awesome to see more guys actually pursuing the RD route versus just, I don't know, physical therapy or kinesiology or, one of those other sort of
we're a rare breed. I like to say that.
The unicorns.
Yeah. So we had 5 guys in my class out of 26 girls. So
that's not a bad ratio. I think our classes were worse.
Yeah.
That's a big class.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna be honest. We had 36, 38 students in my senior year, and a lot of people dropped out. So
that does happen.
So we had like 22, I think, or like 22 or 23, and all guys survived though.
Oh my gosh!
Like a lot of people hated us for that because we all stuck close together. We're all friends.
Right.
Yeah, that's another thing people forget too. Like just because you're accepted into the internship doesn't mean that you won't drop out. Things will happen.
Yes.
I've heard crazy stories about why someone had to leave an internship. So maybe that's a story for another time. But
definitely. So that concludes our episode for today. We really enjoyed having you, and I hope you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It's an honor because I followed Dietetic Anonymous for a long time, even in my undergrad. Don't want to make you feel old or anything, but I did follow you.
Oh my god!
It's hilarious to see those memes in class. Like you're like this to everyone, like, "Hey, look at this,"
Oh really?
Hilarious.
It's a thing.
Oh my gosh! No, I mean,
you're a legend.
Okay, that's enough.
You're a legend.
I don't know. I mean, like I didn't think it would come to how it is today. Like I said, it all started in an internship. Everything magically starts in the internship.
Yeah.
Don't forget, guys, don't forget, guys, that we're gonna have giveaway number 2 coming up. Yes. So keep your eyes peeled. We already probably announced our first giveaway winner by the time this comes out.
Yes.
So please keep your eyes peeled. This number 2 is going to be a special one.
The post is going to be up sometime after this episode goes live. So keep your eyes out. It's going to be the same rules. Like the post, tag a friend, subscribe on our YouTube. It'll be closing on the Friday. We'll announce it the next.
And if you don't do all 3 things, you should have we're not going to choose you. I'm just going to be honest.
We check. So yeah, so thank you again, and we will catch you guys in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the Keeping It Juicy podcast.
your main squeeze in nutrition.
Don't forget to subscribe so you can join us every Tuesday for a brand new episode.
Also, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Keeping It Juicy Podcast.
We'd love to hear from you, so please leave us a review.
5 stars, no less.
On whatever platform you're listening to, or send us an email at keepingitjuicypodcast@gmail.com.
Or if you have any topics you'd like for us to touch upon, shoot us an email. Until next time, don't do anything that I wouldn't do.